Everyone turn around and wave to all of our friends across the Pacific. Good morning from Sydney. Alright, Perth. You guys great. Hey, that's our Perth group. Good morning to our Perth team. Alright, Brisbane. How's things up north? Alright, there's our Brisbane crew. Good morning. Show the crowd. Show the crowd. Who was holding that camera? Melbourne. Melbourne. All right, Auckland. Oh yeah, no, that was Melbourne. That was Melbourne. Yeah, Auckland. Good morning. We see you now. We see you now. Hey. Morning, guys. All right. And did I miss anyone? We've we then also we've got our team in New Caledonia, and they're catching up. We've got our Christchurch team, so a big hello to Christchurch. Our team there getting together. Our Tahitian team getting together, so a big good morning to you. And Adelaide, we've got a beautiful group in Adelaide who are all together today at the moment as well. We don't have their live feed in to show you on screen, but they're partying just as hard. So it looks like everyone's having fun all across the Pacific. I just want to kind of kick things off by saying a big thank you to all of you. It shows a lot of understanding for what's happening in the world right now. Like we know COVID has really disrupted the world. We all know that's very old news now. We wish we could have been on the Gold Coast in January getting together, but that was just impossible. We wish we could have all been together now in the Gold Coast. We kind of pushed it back a little bit. And in the end, these pods were the best solution that we could come up with so that we could still get together and still party and have some fun today. But we've got an amazing event lined up today. We've got live speakers. We've got speakers dialing in from all different locations. But as a little thank you, we wanted to give a gift. So all of you, as qualifiers of our leadership summit, we wanted to give something. What's that? Collagen powder? Who wants some collagen powder? Okay. Wait till June. But I'm glad there's excitement for collagen powder. We actually wanted to do something a little bit fun. So all of our qualifiers for Leadership Summit, we actually wanted to gift you a Nu Skin branded GoPro. So all qualifiers will be receiving this gift. We've actually partnered with GoPro to get this item. Thank you for your understanding and patience. Now, for those of you who qualified, so for all accounts who qualified for 2 attendees at this meeting, we're actually also gifting you a beautiful Nu Skin branded Fitbit. Wow! It's very hard to shop for 250 people, but we picked some items that we thought were fun and that everyone can use, and the fact that it's Nu Skin branded, I think that's pretty special. So the Sydney room are excited. Hopefully all of our pods out there cheer just as loud as our Sydney room. So those who achieve 1 ticket get our Nu Skin branded GoPro. Those who achieve 2 tickets get both items. So a big congratulations. And again, thank you for your understanding in this event not being able to happen in the Gold Coast right now. It's a little token and gesture, but I'm glad you're excited for that. Now, in other news, we were really excited that Jacinda Ardern made an announcement about a week ago. Does everyone know the announcement? Yeah, we can now go to New Zealand. Okay, the bubble is opening in about a week's time. So that means, where are we going in August? Queenstown! So Queenstown will happen in August. The bubble is open. it better stay open. So Auckland and Christchurch, St. Paul's Twins, make sure that bubble stays open for us. But we're really excited that Success Trip will happen. A beautiful skiing trip. Queenstown will be covered in snow. I've never been to Queenstown when it's snowing, but it's meant to be absolutely magical. So we're really excited about that. And it actually brings to the first topic I wanted to raise today, Success Trip. All right, Success Trips, we all know, have been significantly disrupted by COVID, right? That there's been massive disruption around that. And it's been a real challenge for us. So we had our Vietnam trip that only half of our group could go to, and then half of our group weren't able to travel due to COVID. It's right when COVID was starting that they then shut their borders. We've had Alaska that we had to cancel and kind of do a bit of juggling and shifting. My big request to all of you as leaders, and this is really, really, really important. No matter what's happening, encourage your team with all of their might to achieve Success Trip. Okay? And it's really critical that you do that as leaders. And why I say that as leaders is because people might say, oh, okay, we're going to Queenstown, that's only New Zealand, that's not as exciting as Croatia, because it's not as far away. Let me tell you, you're wrong. It will be an amazing trip because it's a Nu Skin Success Trip, right? Have you guys who's been on a Success Trip before? All right, and when I ask these questions, by the way, in every location around Pacific, you need to participate just like you're live. So you put your hand up as well. So Success Trip. How amazing are our Success Trips?
Yes, but you can see.
Incredible, right?
This one?
And no matter where we've been, the trip is incredible. So Queenstown will be an amazing trip that we can't wait for. Hayman Island. Now, even though that's just in Australia, so it's not too far for all of us, Hayman Island will be an amazing Success Trip. And no matter what happens next, no matter what the next announcement is, as leaders, we want you to channel your team to be striving to achieve Success Trip. We have seen, I'll speak really openly with you. We've got a really good group of qualifiers right now for Hayman Island. But it will be a very big, amazing group. That being said, we did expect a little bit bigger. And it's not quite as big as earlier trips. And so that's okay, I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. But I've spoken to a lot of people who have said, oh, it's just in Australia. So, there's not as much excitement. Let me tell you, if that's your attitude as a leader, then you're missing out in your business from all of the growth that will come when you promote Success Trip and when you get your team attending Success Trip. Because always, Success Trip is just our way of helping people be successful in their business. Because if you achieve Success Trip, you'll come home after the trip to an extremely successful business. So it's not about the trip actually. And I've said this before, we do it to trick people into being successful. Because you come home to a thriving business, and that's the real prize. The business outcome is the real prize there. So, can you guys all drive Success Trip with all your might as leaders for the sake of Nu Skin Pacific, for the sake of you and your business, but for the sake of the people who achieve it? Because the trip is lovely, and it's amazing, and it's a big investment for us, but the business growth that you experience from it is the real prize. Does that make sense? All right, good. So make sure we keep that at the forefront of our mind. I know our Hayman Island qualification period is now closed to new qualifiers, like you had to have done at least month 1 by now. But that being said, grow your business now and encourage your teams to grow their business now and get ready and be expanding and growing so that when the new qualification begins, they're ready in month 1. You set yourself up now for the next qualification criteria. If you wait until July and say, okay, they've announced the next destination, let's start working now, you're too late. Because July happens, August happens, and then you need to be qualifying in September. That doesn't leave much time to get up to that level, right? So every effort you put in now will pay off and you'll be rewarded for that. Now, We've had an incredible year behind us. You guys all know the results for 2020. We broke records. We passed $85 million as a Pacific region. The next goal's what? What are we aiming for now?
100 million.
100 million. All right, we want to be a $100 million market. So that is our goal and our vision as a Pacific region. That would put us. There's actually. There's only one company in the direct selling association in Australia that has surpassed that level. So that has surpassed 100 million.
Wow.
So we're very close to doing it. That would put us to become the second only company in the Pacific to be over $100 million in sales. So we're very close to it. Right now we're in the top few companies as far as sales performance, but we are very deserving to be the number one, right? I won't say which company that is, but our compensation plan is 10 times better than the one that's sitting at number one. So our compensation plan's better. We are far more rewarding. So let's go and do it. Now, I wanted to just speak about one important thing today that's actually on the topic of prioritization and planning. So if we can pop my next slide up, please. Who has seen these 4 quadrants before? It's a Stephen Covey, well, that's where I learnt about this. But I want to talk this through, and I want everyone to actually draw this on your piece of paper in your workbooks there. Take note of it. And I want to talk through it, and then I'm going to kick it over to you to actually do a quick little exercise with me. So these 4 quadrants, we've got things that are important or not important. And then across the top there you can see things that are either urgent or not urgent. And everything you do in every minute of your life comes under one of these categories, okay? So out of one of these 4 boxes. So things that are urgent and important, should you be doing them? All right, if your house is on fire, is that urgent?
Yes.
Yes, is that important?
Yes.
Okay, so my house is burning down. That would be in quadrant number 1 there, because it's urgent and important. It has to happen right now, and it's very, very, very important. What about box number 2 there? Things that are very important, but not urgent. Can I suggest most of the things you do in your Nu Skin business fall in this category? And I've said this a lot before. The greatest thing that we offer people is a flexible opportunity. It's the greatest part about Nu Skin, right? Because you can do it whenever you want, you can do as much as you want, you can do as little as you want. The worst thing about Nu Skin is the flexibility. Because you can do it whenever you want, and so often it's like, oh, yeah, it's amazing, I'm part of Nu Skin, I can work whenever I want, but I'm not going to today. And I'm not going to tomorrow, and I'm not going to the next day. And when we kind of keep putting things off like that, that's where we kind of miss out on what is actually the Nu Skin opportunity. So your Nu Skin tasks, most of them would be number 2. If you've got a customer on the phone complaining about something, what's that? Which box is that in?
That's to be number 1.
Or if they're on the phone and they're not happy, is that urgent?
Yes.
Is that important?
Yes.
Okay, so you got to see to that straight away, right? So some tasks will be urgent and important. I'm running a Zoom tonight, like I've got to prepare for it, right? That's urgent and important. Now, let's get to the bottom half here. Things that are not important and urgent. Can you think of anything that fits into that category? Say it out loud in your rooms, wherever you are across the Pacific. What are some examples of things that are very urgent, but not at all important? Might be tricky to think of.
Go to party.
Housework? Yeah?
Anything?
Yeah? That could fit.
Go
That
for a
could
drink.
fit. What about a telemarketing phone call? Is that important?
No.
Yeah.
But is it urgent?
No.
Alright, and this is where it's important, just to help you to find these things. A phone ringing in your hand, is that urgent?
No.
Okay, so it does depend, no.
Depends.
Okay,
Yes.
this is a good point. It doesn't depend who's calling. Whether it's important or unimportant depends on who's calling. But is a phone ringing in your hand urgent? I've either got to answer it right now or I miss it. So time's ticking. Oh, quick! I feel anxious. It's ringing. Have you ever been talking to someone and your phone's ringing in your pocket and you're like, "Who's that? Who's that? I can't look. It'll be rude." But oh my goodness, I'm feeling anxious because I haven't answered my phone yet. That's because it's urgent. But whether it's important or not, it could be a complete waste of time. So that's the third category. And number 4, this is my favorite one. What's in number 4? Not urgent and not important, but we spend a lot of our time there. What are some things? Answer it in out loud. What are some things in quadrant 4? And what was that? Housework. All right.
No, it's not.
And the importance, okay, now you're actually raising a really good point. Housework could be number 4 until your house is so messy that you've got rats in it. And then is it urgent and important?
Yes.
Yes. So this is actually a really good example and analogy here. The more you ignore quadrant 2, things that are important but not urgent, they then later become urgent and important, and you work in crisis mode. So health. Is your health urgent? It depends, right? If anyone has had a heart attack in the last 6 months, is their health urgent?
Yes.
Yes. For me, is my health urgent? Like I'm fit and young and doing okay. Is it urgent? But if I ignore my health, what will happen? If I eat whatever I want, and if I don't care about exercising, what happens? Health risks kind of pop in, all of a sudden it becomes urgent and I'm working in crisis mode. But if I take care of it because it's in quadrant 2, it's not urgent, but it's very important. So if I take care of it today, I will always be relaxed and calm because I'm not in crisis mode and I can work in quadrant number 2 there. Does that make sense? Now, come back to quadrant 4 though. What's not urgent and not important that you spend lots of time doing every day? All right, Elena, yell it out. Facebook.
Watching TV.
Okay.
Watching
Now,
movie.
certain things will be in both quadrants. So Elena just pointed out, Facebook's actually not urgent but very important because she makes money on Facebook, right? But when she's watching those cat videos, is that important? So cat videos on Facebook is quadrant 4. Contacting people, promoting new skin, making money on it, that's quadrant 2, right? Does that make sense? So these quadrants are all connected. The more time you spend in quadrant 4, doing, like if you're wasting your time, so binge watching TV, that's not important, it's not urgent. But if I sit and watch Netflix and finish a whole season in 2 nights, I'm probably in quadrant 4. But for me, at 9 o'clock at night, the kids are in bed, I've done the work, I've cleaned the house. When I sit down and watch one show before bed to kind of unwind, I'd actually say that's quadrant 2 for me. Because it's important we have switch off time. So everything depends on what it is, depends on how you're looking at it. So, I want to take the next 5 minutes. At your table, I want you to identify for you a couple of items in every box. So what are the really urgent and really important things that you need to get done right now? They're probably things that are making you anxious. When you go to bed at night and feel a bit anxious, oh, I've got so much to do tomorrow, that's probably because you're in quadrant 1. Okay? But what's in quadrant 2? What are the really important things that aren't urgent, that maybe you've been ignoring because they're not urgent? What are the things in quadrant 3 that are urgent but not important that maybe you can delegate to other people? Or maybe you can completely ignore because, hey, that's not important. And what are the things that you spend too much time on in quadrant 4? What are your guilty pleasures or your Facebook cat videos that you spend so much time scrolling through? What are those items that you've got as well? So take just a couple of minutes, write down and think about it firstly. This is a real exercise. Identify something in every box and talk about it at the table. You've got a couple of minutes, ready, set, go.